Yo, what's up guys? And today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Age of Extinction, Hound, aka the Fat Ballerina. Okay, enough of that. So this figure is actually one of the best mainline toys I've ever seen. I honestly thought, before I didn't know he was a Studio Series figure, I honestly thought he was a Studio Series figure because how good he looks. Like, he looks just like a Studio Series figure. Just like compare him to Hot Rod. He scales great, he looks great, everything about him is great. But there's one thing, and I'll talk about that in the video, right? So the first thing we're gonna get into is I love the color scheme of this figure. The green and the black. Oh, even these got like bullets. Oh, they're so nice. And the red on those arms. Oh, those are nice too. I find that the weapons are a bit like bland, where there's like absolutely no paint on any of the weapons. It's fine because it's a weapon, obviously, but that's something I would improve if I had to improve something on this figure. Now we have a lot of guns, and we have a lot of different things that come with this figure. I know there's a camo version and there's another version which do look better than this, honest. So the color scheme definitely a bit better, but this one is what we're looking at today. So let's just get into this today. Focus. Thank you. Basically, there's a lot of different things that are cool. Like I said before, I'm just repeating myself about this figure. I really like how they did one thing on this figure, though. The one thing that I think is the greatest thing is, I'm just gonna take the gun out, is just the hands. And you might be saying, what do you mean the hands? They look terrible because they're like covered by these stupid things right here. Well, what they did is you're able to actually take these off. And you can actually, like, cause like it's kind of part forming for the vehicle mode, but you're able to store it on the robot, so technically it's not. So honestly, it looks a lot better like this, and I know that's how everybody's displays them. If you know that they could come off, but that's a great feature that I wish they would like add to different figures with cable on their, like, I don't know, like him, like on his arms or anything, like even just like Battle Trap with this crane thing. If they could have took that, we could have took that off, it would have been a lot better for the figure. Anyways, yeah, so you can take these two pieces off. You just can't lose them because it's really required for the truck mode, and if you don't have them, it really doesn't look good. So you just got to make sure you keep them in the safe place. So we're gonna start off here with the arms. These arms are actually amazingly sculpted. I really like how they added all these bullets, and the camera's not picking it up. I don't know why. There we go. I don't know if you can see it, but there's little bullets going all around. Some of them are red, some of them are just plain gray, but it's all around the forearm. Another thing I would like to do is, like, I would have liked it to not be so squishy, but what are you gonna do? It's rubber. I would have liked it to be solid sculpted, but at the same time it wouldn't look right, I don't think, and it just gives off a better look of all. And it does kind of twist, but not too much. We have bullets on the side here. Everything's on this is the same on each side, by the way. On the side, which is like a green at the tip. I don't know why they're green at the tip. They should be like black or gray or something like that. And then we have the gold, and we have a yellow stripe here for some reason. Next, we're gonna move on to the face sculpt. So Hound is ultimately my favorite character out of the Bayverse. Well, I guess besides Prime, obviously, but in Age of Extinction in the Last Night, he's my favorite character. Even though they don't give him the main screen time like they do Optimus, he does get a lot of screen time in Age of Extinction. So this face is actually very nice. I really like it. I really wish they could have like shown the mouth a bit more, or even gave him a cigarette bullet there. That would have been super cool. But overall, he's a very nice face sculpt. Another thing I really wish you could do, just like the Last Night toy, is take off the helmet. Because it just would have given, like, because you know how in the scenes he just takes off his helmet, and he's like, when the Lugfoot, like when they see Lugfoot die, that scene where he takes his helmet off, that would have been cool to have. But overall, he's really cool. Another thing I don't like dearly is the fact that he's not like a big ass guy. Like, he's like the fat ballerina, right? So he should have a big belly. He is a bulky figure, obviously, but like if they could have like bulked it out a bit more, it would have looked more like Hound, and because he's like a bit of like he's a bit more skinny than he was in the movie. But overall, like I don't see how they could have done that, especially with his truck mode. Like I see how they did that with the Last Night toy, which isn't very good, by the way. I don't find it very good, by the way, because of how the truck is way like much bigger. But this guy, like for what he transforms into, I see why they couldn't do that, but that's just something that I would have added. Next, we're gonna get on to the side work. They have for this it moves. Actually, it doesn't move. An idiot. So it has this sculpted on, basically the camouflage. It looks better on the truck mode. These are the back looks like the tires. It's really cool how they do it. I really don't like how this head combines into this port because it takes forever to try to get it in out of it, for me at least on my copy. Next we have this dagger basically type thing, knife that sits right in this port right here on Hound, and it looks really cool because he has this in the movie too, so you can just grab it with his hand and he can take it and hold it, which is really cool. I really like that. Now, the weapon storage on this thing is crazy, at least in robot mode it is. So you have these two panels here, and you have this, the gun, like it's hollow on this side, so it just pegs in right here, so it can just hold those two, like, pistol-like guns on the sides. Like I said before about the knife port. He also has this, it's really cool, so like an ankle gun, where if he runs out of guns and ammo, he just goes down, picks up the gun, and he has 2 more guns to fire. It's on both sides. Another thing he has, which I don't know how to store it, because I just recently got this figure, is his minigun, and this looks sick. We got Hound with his minigun, and it just looks amazing. I really love the sculpting of this gun. There's so much attention to detail on this thing, and it's crazy that they even gave him this, because like they give him so many different weapons. You get 2 of these blasters, which are seen I think in the lockdown scene, or in like the final, like not the final battle, but like the battle when he's like, it's his scene there, like those 5 to 6 minutes where he's the fat ballerina, come and gets all that good stuff, and it shows the minigun too. So I'm really glad that we got this, especially when you like your friend stop. If you're a stop motion animator like me, it's really good to have stuff like this, like a lot of weapons, especially for Hound, which he had a lot of weapons. Anyways, that's the weapons. We also have like the feet is my problem with the figure. Oh, these things just come out sometimes. Just like put, oh, everything's falling apart. Oh no. Yeah, whatever. The feet is my only problem with this. So if you see Hound, he's a big bulky figure, like I said before, but he doesn't lean. He's actually pretty good. I'm gonna take this out. He's actually a pretty good figure compared, like, considering, but he doesn't lean. But then again, like, he has no heels, so like when you want to get into a pose, like it's like he falls. Like if you want to run, this is really bad for stop motion, because if you want to run, he doesn't have that heel to help him run, right? So again, that's another like minor thing that I really wish he could have had. That's probably the biggest problem overall I have with this figure, which is saying a lot because there's nothing else, and there's only one little tiny problem, which is not a huge problem, and you can get this guy into lots of cool poses like I already showed in the start of the video. Overall, I really like this figure. He also has these things which I'm not a great fan of, but he does give him some ankle tilt, I guess, so I'll go over that when I do the articulation. But overall, this figure is just amazingly cool, and I really like him. Now we're gonna head into what's it called, the freaking articulation. Down here we have lots of articulation. Honestly, it's not like, it's just typical, I guess. So first we got the ball joint at the head. We actually don't even have a ball joint. We have a head that moves back and forth. The sad thing is it can't go up and down, which really does suck, because like he is pretty tall, so he has to go like this, which isn't bad because he does that to like Cade in the movie where he goes down like this, which isn't terrible. But they could have just added that in. Next we got outward movement with the arms. He can go out fully, back and forth. This can move back and forth, the bicep. And we have arm like movement. I really don't know if I like how this looks when he does this, because I don't know if it looks like an arm and it's very hollow at the underneath. So I don't know. That's one thing. That's another thing I don't really like about it, about the articulation. And same on this side, obviously, same thing. Down here we have a waist swivel, so which is really cool because it's really good to get him into some shots, like, especially when he's shooting like a falling pose like this, or anything like that. So, and then we have movement here. We have movement here in the knees, which go about 90, yeah, I'd say, and they go out this much like that, which is pretty good for Hound. And yeah, like I said, these turn, the legs, upper legs turn, and so do these. And these are like, they're okay. It gives them an ankle pivot, right? So anything for an ankle pivot. They're not really great on the ankle pivot because like you have this thing right here, which isn't like great, but that's what really helps him stand because he has no heels. So I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. Overall, his bot mode is really good, and this video is going to be pretty long. Yeah, so let's get into the transformation mode. I'm not going to show it in this video because it's already so long and because it is hard to do on my current setup. So let's get right into the transformation mode. Okay, so now we have comparisons. So first, we're going to compare my only other Age of Extinction toy, because I sold them all, Drift. He looks really good with Drift. I really do like how they scale together, because this is how they really scale together in the movie. This could be a bit taller, for Drift could be a bit taller, but for Hound, he looks exactly like how he did in the movie. So that's Drift. Next, we have Battle Trap, which obviously is from this movie, and they'll never be in the same movie. Sadly, Hound's gone forever. But this is how he looks with Battle Trap. Now, after Battle Trap, we have Studio Series, the last night, Hot Rod. So we have Hot Rod. This actually looks really good together. I really like how Hot Rod and Hound look together, because this is how they really scaled. We didn't really see them side by side in the movie, but this is how they really probably would have looked in the movie if they did show up together. Next we have these versions of Fallen Optimus, which is the one I just did a review on the other week. They look really good together. This is how Hound and him would have scaled if he would have kept his design, because obviously the night one I think was a bit taller. I think he was right here. So obviously the night one would scale really good with a Hound. But this is how they look together, which they look pretty good. I really like how it is. Next we have, I think it's Dark of the Moon, Bumblebee, which is a terrible figure, don't buy it. But I'll be doing with a review on him soon. They look good. That's how Bumblebee would have looked side by side. He's a bit too big for Hot Rod, obviously, but but overall, these two look good together, and I really like how they turned out. With that, now, because I forgot to do the comparisons, that's why I said it. Let's get into the transformation. Let's get into the transformation now. We have Army Tank mode, and this looks great. I really like how this looks, because it looks exactly like it did in the movie. Like, it really does look very, 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 very similar, and I just really like how it looks. You saw the weapon storage. I forgot to put the guns in there because I can't end it right now because I have it transformed. You can store the knife right here on the leg, so that looks really cool too. It's really cool weapon storage, and this thing just goes on the side, which I'm not going to put there because it looks terrible, obviously, and these things don't look very good either. Overall, this thing's really good. I really do like how they really bring this to life, and how like this is not a Studio Series figure, and it looks exactly like a Studio Series figure. I don't know how they did it, or like why they haven't made a Studio Series figure of this yet, but if they do, it's gonna be amazing. I can just feel it. So yeah, I forgot to do comparisons for the robot mode, so if it's not in there, sorry. It will be in this. It'll probably be at the start of the video, but we will do vehicle comparisons. So let's get into that. Random, because I have these transformed, but this is Prior of the Prime Silverbolt. This is how he scales with him. I'm sure none of you guys want to see that. That's that. Next we have B-Movie Starscream, which again, probably it's just a random one I had transformed. They look pretty good together. Like on Cybertron, that's probably how they would look. Generally, I think Starscream is a bit smaller than Hound, but again, because they're probably this, he's taller in robot mode. But again, it is what it is. Next we have Generations Trail Breaker. Again, just a random one I had transformed. Actually, that's for the series. That's why I haven't transformed. But that's what those two look together. They look good. They will be side by side in this new film after Fall of the Matrix. By the way, that drops tomorrow, so go check that out tomorrow. The trailer, I guess. Yeah, those are those two. Now we have Hound. Yeah, so Hound overall is a great figure. I really love how this figure is and how he looks and everything about him. He looks like he's like a great figure to figure around with. I got this guy for 40 bucks Canadian. So if you guys can find them for even 50 bucks Canadian or US, I would like get it because it is such an amazing figure. I really like how he looks and how he feels and everything about him. He's definitely our best by far a mainline toy, and he's our best Hound toy because it's better than the Last Night toy. But that's been my review on Studios even of Age of Extinction mainline Hound. He's back, he's alive. Optimus is here.